Joining us tonight, President Trump's personal attorney, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. Rudy, great to have you here.
Now it'll look like he's got the heck kicked out of him.
Well, he did. He and the whole bunch of radical
hospital waiting line.
You know, Adam Schiff kind of retired from. We couldn't find him anywhere.
He's probably trying to find another whistleblower. He's working on another whistleblower.
Well, that's all worked out so well for him.
Whistleblower.
Let's start with, first of all, I want to start with the president's speech last night because it was your thoughts about.
Well, you know, I worked for Ronald Reagan, so I didn't think I'd ever see better State of the Union speeches than. Remember, we were talking about Lenny.
Right.
He started the whole thing with bringing people. I was the.
1982.
I was the last plane out of the airport before that plane went down. So people in my Justice Department office thought I had died on that plane. A lot of people would have preferred if had I done.
Well,
I didn't have it.
We all
I'm
have our
very close to
detractors.
that. And when he brought Lenny, I had to go say hello to him and congratulate him. But the president, you can't find anything wrong with that speech last night. It was brilliant. It was brilliant. And of course, he stayed away from the whole impeachment thing. You know, he was dying to say something about that. Stayed away from it. It was a less partisan than the Obama-Clinton speeches.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm so glad to hear you say that it was better than what Reagan. Because
I thought it was better than Reagan. I didn't think I would ever say that.
And I've heard several people today say it was Reagan-esque, and it's a high compliment, right? The problem is, it was better than that.
It was.
And this president was saying what he meant, speaking directly to the American people, to the people that those people who stayed sitting on their hands throughout it once represented. Mm-hmm. They no longer do. They represent special interest groups. They represent various other groups, but not individuals.
I have no doubt that Ronald Reagan thought he did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know one thing. The president has once again been exonerated. The radical Dems have been humiliated after trying to attack.
How many times? How many times does the guy have to get?
At some point, and you're the prosecutor and legal scholar, how many times is it required that the radical Dems be schooled on American jurisprudence and the necessity of a person being guilty if you're going to go after them?
As long as we have a corrupt media, they can do it forever because they're not held accountable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you're right.
I am more upset about the condition of our media and how corrupt it is than I am. The Dems are going to lose. They're going to get rejected by the people. They're not going to last. I mean, all they have is impeachment. Nadler was there. He was dumbfounded. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah, he's stunned, no question.
What are they going to pass? What alternative do they have? The other thing that the president did last night was a version of Clinton's triangulation. So he took away their agenda. The poor are doing better. The minorities are doing better. The Hispanics are doing better. The women are doing better.
And he promised he would do this. Nobody can take it away from him. President Trump, as a candidate, promised the American people that all Americans would participate as he restored prosperity, and he has done it.
Now, how about this picture? He points out that African-American employment is the highest ever, and the Democrats who are African-American aren't applauding for that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good because a Republican did it. We'd rather have the unemployment and not have Trump around.
Do you doubt it for a minute?
No, it's because they hate Trump so much, and they love their country less, and they love their people less.
And somehow the national left-wing media has taken that as an acceptable rationalization. Because the left hates this president, who is succeeding by any measure, any standard, any issue.
He's doing what they have failed at to do.
Absolutely.
Almost every American city that's been under consistent Democratic governance, and I know this as a former mayor, is in terrible shape. In terrible shape. I mean, some are catastrophes. Chicago's a murder capital.
Right.
Los Angeles and San Francisco, if they don't do something about homelessness, they're going to have the plague.
Yeah. They're disintegrating. They really.
Yeah, I mean, the reason we did inside plumbing was because of the plague. You can't have people living on the streets. What do you think they do on the streets?
Well,
when I was the mayor of New York City, I got rid of homelessness. And I did it to help the homeless people. I did it. I used to say, I'm doing this because if I don't engage, I don't love you. I'm going to let you stay on the street. If my brother was on the street, I would let him stay on the street. Right. I'd go get him, try to get him in a shelter, try to get him to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a drug person.
There's been a strange...
Drug rehabilitation person.
I understand. There's been a strange suspension of responsibility in California, taking it as one example among several in this country, for enforcing laws, and now a sanctuary state, as the president pointed out last night, suspending public health standards and assistance in too many cases.
I think I started a podcast and I call it Common Sense, because I think we lack common sense.
Right.
And I think that this is a very very psychological analysis, being a New Yorker for many years and understanding the liberal mindset. Yeah. They really can't govern. Right. They live in a fantasy world. That's why they couldn't count votes in Iowa.
Oh, my God. It goes on and on and on.
They can't govern. They're too... health insurance for everybody. Well, you're gonna knock out 1/3 of our hospitals if you do that.
Let me turn very quickly to the president's. He's going to address the nation tomorrow and give us his thinking. How is this battle going to be joined at the next in the next confrontation? Where will it be, and what form will it take? You have been attacked viciously by the national left-wing media and the left as well. The president is certainly not under any illusions. I haven't asked him about it, but I'm sure he's under no illusions that this is what should be a fitting end to what has been a national nightmare. It may be just a concluding event.
I mean, my advice would be for the president to move on, to do what he did in the State of the Union speech, which was entirely positive, politically brilliant and entirely positive, but at the same time, keep his guard up, because they're going to come after him again. They're going to come after him again. They have nothing else to run on. They have nothing else to say. And they're going to either try to relitigate all this with the bunch of liars they have. I mean, and it really is necessary that we find out who the whistleblower is.
Absolutely.
Because he may tie the whole thing together.
Very quickly, well, you know what? We'll leave it right there.
He may tie the whole conspiracy together.
Well, there's a lot to tie, because it's a big one.
Yeah.
Rudy Giuliani, great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Great job.